MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Hey, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Raman Raju. No, I'm not Albert Einstein, but we are going to talk about a lot of revolutionary ideas in biology, in physics, all those things. Actually, I want to talk with you something about, the Association with American College of Cardiology, and I'm not a doctor, but I used to go a lot of these conferences, with the Dr. Nanda, with the Indian Cardiology Association, and the American Black Cardiology Association. I used to go a lot of them. These are the associations I used to go. And one of the things that I always wonder, if there's they say, I see a lot of equipment there, a lot of things up there that can save your life, the heart. But when the really heart attack comes in, as a cardiac arrest happens, who's going to save you? That is a question that I had, in my mind. That means people around you to save, So we need that kind of people need to be trained. They need to understand, as your older people going around with your father, grandfather, mother, grandmother, in the house, out in the office, your colleagues, they need to know how to say basic CPR to give it to you, pulmonary resuscitation technique. You need to be trained. It's not just a throw that thing, it is there is no AI can save you at the time. You need a person who knows how to do that. Okay. The guest that I have a guest, her name is Susan Davis. She's been on my show for 3 times. She's the greatest, one of my favorite guests. I'm going to bring her. She is a doctor of nursing practice, and she has a registered nurse. She was a trauma nurse, and she was an ICU, and then she went through all of them, and then now she is educating people how to do the CPR at the citizens, at the nurses. And Rescue RN is a program that they train nurses, proper training. Not only just training, it's a mental setup. That she's talking about. The hospital, there is not a single place. You have to train all of them in the hospital. Let's talk with her. Let me bring to the table Susan Davis. Welcome to the MedBix Webcast.
Ramana, good evening. Thank you so much for having me back. I love coming on your show.
Thank you so much. So tell me about a little bit about your background, personal, professional. Where do you live? So you live, and where do you work? And you don't want to mention all the clear details, but what do you do in general?
not all the dirty details. So right now I am in South Florida. And first of all, I don't want to get your audience upset by saying I'm freezing cold, because it's in the maybe 60s here right now. I know across the country people are in single digits, if not minus digits. So freezing cold in Florida. And I am a critical care nurse. You mentioned I started out in trauma, so I've done a little flight and some cardiac, and just one thing led to another. On my path took me into, I've just been very interested in cardiac arrest response. And that goes back to, the days when I was working in the ER, responding to the inpatient environment for a code, and then getting there and, just kind of seeing what a mess it could be, because they just don't see it as often. So we don't see it in the in-hospital environment, in the middle of the hospital, less so, of course, than the buns. I always talk about the buns, the ICU, the top of the house, the ER, and the bottom of the house. But in the middle, the burger, the BLS burger, we see it far less. And so therefore, being prepared is very important for them. And honestly, no less important than nurses are just people. They go home, they go into the community, and 70% of cardiac arrests happen at home. So my career has been focusing on in-hospital cardiac arrest training, and that's still my focus with the program, the signature program I have, Code Prep. But now I'm doing a lot of work in the community. So basically, my new line is, if you have a heart, you qualify. We're working on everybody, and if you have a heart, you qualify. So like you were saying, if you're going to drop, you better hope someone right around you knows what to do.
Yeah. Let us talk about the hospitals first.
Mm.
Hospitals, everybody thinks that we saw code blue, calls, and then there is a lot of, I used it last time, the word that you loved it is choreography. You need a special dance of all these things has to be in place to save the life of the patient. Not you're saying you said that something about hospital, not only just in the ICU, everybody in the hospital has to be trained to talk. Like, can you expand on that one little bit?
Yeah, well, sure. So honestly, in the buns, the ICU top burger, the ER bottom burger, cardiac arrest is kind of their calling card. In the ER, patients are coming in coding. In the ICU, they're the sickest in the house. That's why they're in the penthouse. And if they're going to code, we're kind of expecting them to code there. But in the middle of the hospital, every other specialty lies there. Oncology, ortho, mom baby, or how about you're in radiology? There's all those places, endo. And they also have a larger patient ratio, the nurse to patient ratio. They have a lot more patients to watch. The statistics say failure to rescue, so we didn't get there on time, that percentage is 7%. It goes up 7% for every extra patient that a nurse has. So if she has 6 patients, that patient has a 42% chance of not surviving a cardiac arrest event or a respiratory event, some type of an emergency in the hospital. So basically, everybody needs to be trained. Most hospitals, this is another concept actually that I've been talking about recently since I've been working in the community and the hospital, is about half of a hospital, I'll just use our system as an example, are trained in basic, advanced, or pediatric life support. But the other 50% approximately of our hospital are not clinical, but they're within the walls and on those grounds, and they don't have any training. So patients aren't always sitting there, waiting with the nurse right next to them and decide to have their cardiac arrest. It's not convenient. Cardiac arrest is not convenient. So it could be in the parking lot, it could be in the lobby, it could be in the cafeteria, in radiology, it could be anywhere. So we all have to be ready.
You're talking about non-clinical staff that they don't have training. That's the one people ignore. They don't think that they don't pay attention, but they need to be trained also. That's what they are saying.
Well, what happens? What are you going to do? And this is the culture.
Correct.
Oh, shoot. Pull out my phone and call, and then what? Wait? Nowhere does it say recognize the problem, call for help, and then stand there and wait. This whole thing in our whole country, this standing by thing is junk. We don't have time to stand by. The heart does not, you need your jumper cables with you everywhere you go. Just like you have them in your car. Everyone should have an AED in your backpack, because all the science in the whole wide world says we do not care what your job description is. Right? You need to recognize the problem, call for help, begin compressions, and use your electricity. Those are the only 2 things that are going to work right now.
That you said that something interesting in one of the blogs. Not only just the training itself, the mental state of that nurses, the mental that kind of a mental setting has to be there to really deliver. Because if they are under a lot of stress or other things they're working on, any distraction, and particularly while saving lives, it's paramount importance. That we expand on that one a little bit, Susan.
It's a mindset. Either you have the mindset, or the person who is expecting to save will. The mindset of the burgers versus the bun are very different. The mindset and the skill set. So if we are trained in the community to say, oops, there's a problem, I'm going to call 911 and wait for help. The same thing happens within the hospital walls. In the burger of the hospital, oops, there's a problem, I'm going to call for help. And then shouldn't I? If we don't support them culturally, hands-on, be for better practice, support them, let them know what we want them to do until help arrives. They're doing the same thing you're doing in your living room. They're waiting for help to arrive. I'm not saying they're not doing compressions or they're not starting, but if they don't practice that scene, it's 4.5 minutes is the average time in the hospital for rapid response teams or critical care teams to arrive. And the national average for first shock in the hospital in the United States currently is 9 minutes. We're supposed to be shocking in 2. So that's 9 minutes. That's what EMS has. EMS has 90% of the time they have to be less than 9 minutes. So like 8 minutes and 59 seconds is how long it takes for them to get to your home. So it's kind of shocking at times, no pun intended, that it happens very similarly in the hospital.
Oh yeah, that is really interesting. That we really we have not we invest so much money in other areas and the wars. Where is that AEDs all over the place? Parks, schools, the place, entertainment places. They need to have this thing all over the places that they don't. It's just really sad. Even in the airports, I don't see everywhere. You have to go to the particularly one particular concourse or something like that. It's a tragedy. I mean, we have to change our mindset and we have to pressure the 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 people, particularly congressmen, is also they're prone to attack more heart attacks than anybody else. So they need to understand this. This is policymakers. This is the one they need to do in the parks, in the recreation places, even in the clubs, and all these places. They need the community services. A widespread should be there, and the citizens has to be trained. Even the employees in places like parks and in the clubs, they need to be trained. That's kind of a thing. I think we need to change our mindset. Do you agree?
Oh, Mike, are you kidding me? You're speaking my language here. I mean, you're getting them is one thing, and that's been a real, the whole Damar Hamlin thing, January, I believe, 2nd of 2023, when he decides to tank on the middle of the football field, and the whole world watched this, watched the response and watched how miraculous it was, how well they worked, and how they saved him. But you came up with or brought up a perfect point. People think it's off their checkbox if they purchase an AED. That's swell, but sitting in the cabinet back in the office isn't going to do the trick. Knowing how to use it and having an emergency plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have preparation for a plan, whether it's in your living room at home, if it's your family member. And by the by, again, cardiac arrest doesn't care who you are. We have 3.5 children in our country going down, mostly during sports, every single day from cardiac arrest. That's 24 kids a week having cardiac arrest in our country. So AEDs can't be in the back office. They need to be on the sidelines at practice. Not just the game, at practice. So we just are starting. I'm working on the project right now here locally and actually across the country. It's an initiative I'm calling Time Out. So we're going to start this next week. In fact, here in Florida with our professional baseball field, spring training with the Minnesota Twins. In fact, so timeout. They're going to do over the Megatron. They're going to tell everybody just to take a timeout. They're going to say where all the AEDs are located in the stadium. On the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor. We're going to have the mascot show the AED that's on the sideline, and then we're going to ask for a raise of hands. How many people in the stadium have had CPR training? And if you are you willing to jump in if anyone here has a problem today? And then we're passing out something like these little footballs at the baseball. It'll be a baseball. And then we're going to do 90 seconds of hands-only CPR on the seats. So the whole stadium will do 90 seconds of CPR. And then basically play ball.
That's a great.
So that's my timeout. That's what we're starting. I'm really excited to start it next week.
It's an excellent idea. That is to train educate them in the football stadium and other places. That's a really cool idea. I need to propose
cool.
it. So actually, should be in standardization. That means we don't have a standardization. All fragmented plans everywhere. There's no standardized plan to implement all these things across the organizations, across the schools, and all those things in the football stadiums. There is no plan, right? We need a standardized plan.
Well, that's my big deal. That's what I'm here. That's what I talk about every day. And I read an interesting thing just the last couple of days. It was standardization equals commitment. Sorry. I mean, you can't keep talking the talk without walking the walk. People say we have all these high standards and we have standardized processes and this is a standard. And I'm like, well, if you're not having high performance outcomes, then you're not committed, and therefore I'm calling you out. It's not a standard, or more importantly, your standards aren't up to mine. So my standard says you have the equipment so that everyone there recognizes the problem, knows how to call for help, can begin compressions. The AED is right there, and we use it. We know how to do it. That's how. And then they don't just do it once; they practice it again and again and again. And then we look at the data and we analyze it, and we can see where we're having problems. We can see neighborhoods that need more. We can see units in the hospital that aren't up to speed because we're having more often failure to rescue. And we go there because we have the data, because we are committed to standardizing this across the nation.
High performance means a life, and if it is not high performance, there's a life and death involved. It's not like something here is a very important,
We get one chance. You
one
get one
chance.
chance.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I don't know what everyone's waiting for. It's,
So you
you know,
said
it's
that,
always something until it's your kid.
yeah, when the anybody comes to either citizen or somebody comes there, and then I'm talking about the response time is, I understand, but standardization requires a little bit of training across the citizenry, across the field. But I wanted to ask you something interesting you said that warning the patient. That's what I was missing. Warning the patient means, if I'm giving a CPR or a nurse giving a CPR, they warn that patient at the time. There is a responsibility, right? Can you explain that a little bit?
The warning of the
The,
patient, like,
the warning. You warn the patient. He said that in one of the blogs. He said that nurse warned that patient because she needs to deliver that care. She is responsible for the delivery of the care. There is nobody else there. She's the sole responsible. That's
oh
what you had said, something like that.
yeah,
She's the
yeah.
she.
So couple things, in patients before they have an emergency event, they tend to show signs and symptoms 24 hours ahead of time, 8 hours ahead of time for sure, and absolutely 3 hours ahead of time. So first of all, the best cardiac arrest is the one we catch. But let's just say for a million reasons we didn't catch it, and now we have a cardiac arrest. Well, you need to own your practice. If you are in a hospital or healthcare setting or anywhere, if you have taken any form of basic life support training, then you have an obligation. You have a duty to know what to do. You have a duty to respond. So they have to respond. But if they don't get the support from their leadership one way or another, then they're not sure if they should. So what an awkward, horrible position to be put in, to know, I think I know that I should and I know what to do, but I'm not sure if I should. What the heck? Like, that's a nurse, a trained nurse, let's just say, in a hospital, versus a 10-year-old kid can grab an AED in the airport and use it. But in the hospital, we have doubt, we have fear, and we have uncertainty of our skills because of the lack of the support for owning that response. They must be empowered. It's something that should be non-negotiable. This should be a standard across the board. It should be every single healthcare person, part of their orientation. How comfortable are you with this emergency equipment? We're not asking once every 2 years. We do this every month, 2 to 6 minutes. It doesn't take long. It's silly.
Well said. That I wanted to ask you, what a lot of people know is some non-physicians watch and non-medical people watch that. What is the difference between the heart attack and the cardiac arrest? There is a
That
difference. Yeah.
There's a big difference, and people don't know it. So a heart attack, right? So a heart attack, this is your heart. There's veins, vessels that feed your heart, right? Your heart's beating away, and these vessels are feeding your heart. Well, I'll go like this. So these are the vessels feeding my heart. And my ring, let's just say, is a clog. It's a clog. It's a stick. It's a log in the road to one of the vessels feeding the heart. So everything past my ring, a heart attack is a clog in one of the vessels that's feeding the heart. So if this clog gets in the middle of the road, nothing can get in and nothing can get out. So everything beneath there starts to die. And that hurts. And that's in your heart. That's a heart attack. A heart attack is, there's a stick in the stream preventing anything from getting past. And it's not going to, hold for very long, because that's chest pain. That's pressure. That hurts. It might be a stick in one vessel. It might be a stick in 3 or 4. It could be a big dog. And if you wait on that, chances are, the systems might call it a day. Then you have a cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest, the heart that underneath those vessels that's being fed by electricity has all of a sudden an electrical problem, because it's like, like 911, what the heck? We're not getting good in and garbage out. Hello, fix it. So cardiac arrest means the electrical system tries, and if we don't shock it while there's still a little juice left in that battery, then we're game over. So heart attack, stick in the road, cardiac arrest, game over.
Cardiac arrest is a much more serious problem. That is a
Yeah.
serious problem.
One will lead to the other, but not necessarily. You can have a heart attack and be just fine. You can get to the hospital in time. They can get the stick out of the road. You can get stents. You can get pacemakers. There's all kinds of things you can get to help prevent you having a cardiac arrest. But sudden cardiac arrest sometimes doesn't give any warning. And it doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what your job description is. And it does not care how old you are.
That this is a no-brainer. We need a standardizer plan around the country. We need equipment everywhere. We need we could use AI to locate this equipment. We don't have any even equipment locations. Public in cities don't know where they our AEDs available. So this is a really sad story. We need to have a certain people take a leadership role like you, that and raise the voices, question about it, and the doctors and you, people like you, to promote this kind of thing. But Susan, I'm going to present something interesting. That one of the things that this topic is, I worked very hard. It's very, I don't have the biology background or physics background, so it's how to struggle between the biology and physics, and that I did that, and I did my best I could do. But I'm going to present that, and then we come back and talk about how we can, what is your rescue RN do, what is a rescue RN academy does. We'll talk about your company a little bit more. So let me present that, and you and me watch. You can jump in any place. Don't feel bad. You can make a comment in the middle.
Good, because I love this topic, and I'm sure you did well with your biology homework.
So thank you, but I'm trying. Let me bring you to the, yeah, just let me, both of us will be watching together and see that if I can okay, then we see on the bottom, right? That's yogurt wars may revolutionize medicine. What is yogurt is anything to do with it, and the bunch of Lloyds on the right side is all kind of funny thing. But you may ask me, by Susan, I have a question for you. By looking at me, you don't think that I have anything to do with the country music, right?
No, it wouldn't come to mind. No.
No, yeah, that's right. But you are kind of wrong about that. I'm going to tell
Oh,
you a story about it, all these things that is a strange and very suspense and drama and comedy. Everything is involved in this story. Actually, the country music. I was driving from. I saw my friend in my son. I met him in Vanderbilt, and then I went to see him with my daughter, and we met him and coming back through Alabama. Actually, I'm driving back to Alabama. Somebody told me that they said that somebody wants to talk with you. That they think you're a smart guy and talk with you. I said that. One of my friends called me. He's a friend of him, I think. So I said that, okay, I don't know who is that guy is in the country road. So I want to take a break anyway. So I wanted to go there. So I went and met this superstar of country music. He is an Alabama country music star, Ted Gentry. They won Alabama won several country music awards, Grammy awards. They're very well known. He's one of the superstars there. He's one of the main guys there, one of the guys, Ted Gentry. So I went to this cattle ranch behind. You see the cows behind me. My daughter was there with me. So what happened is that he wants to know what is the genes. He heard about the gene modifications. He's asking. He wants to pick up my brain. He wants a gene modifications about the cows. I said, Ted, I don't know anything about. I'm a Hindu. I'm not supposed to eat beef. First of all, he said that I'm a vegetarian. That I dropped my jaw. He's a vegetarian, and,
he's a
and
visitor.
he's
Oh my
selling
gosh.
these cows, for the profits. So I said that. Then we switched our topic to coffee, and we talked about for an hour about coffee, and then then we left. And just once in a while, I send him an email, and he's a very nicest guy. Very Fort Payne, Alabama. That is one of the. I first time I saw the cows that close. You told me that they don't do anything. I was worried about it. They're going to come back and get.
Romana, I have a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
I raise beef cattle here in the state of Florida.
All right, good.
I
So
do.
I will come and take a picture there.
Yeah.
Okay. So tangentry as a gene modification, that's what he said. But about the cows, talking about cows, let us talk about cow a little bit different. When I was growing up in India, there was a cow that everybody is talking to import. It's called Jersey cows because they're famous for rich milk. They're docile. They're small and they're buttery fat they have. So they're talking about they wanted to import these Jersey cows. They're not. It's not from New Jersey. They are from Channel Island, French islands of Channel Islands is called New Jersey Islands. These cows are isolated from the entire world, entire planet. So they have their own because of the hilly mountains. They have a small stature and the rich milk they give, and then their yogurt is just a creamy yogurt is one of the best yogurt that you can see. So when I was growing up in my small village in India, that I was born in a very very small village, remote village. They were talking about importing Jersey cows. I heard first time Jersey cows. So what they did was they didn't do gene modification, natural selection. Gene modification is a natural selection. Actually, it happens naturally, and also human intervention. They make sure they protected their cows, not not intermingle with any other cows. So it's kind of a human intervention and the natural selection together. They made these Jersey cows very popular. They give a creamy yogurt. That's a yogurt. So talking about yogurt, let me ask you, do you know how to make a yogurt? I can tell you, I know how to make a yogurt. Yogurt, you take boil the milk. A lot of people don't know. Do you know, Susan? Now you know probably our cows, right?
I love yogurt, but no, I don't know how to make it.
So you boil the milk and then cool it off a little bit and then put a yogurt starter and then there is a packet yogurt starter put in there and then 24 hours wait and then it becomes a yogurt. That is the simple process. But I have a question for a lot of people, the very tough question. If there is, I am from a village, there is no yogurt starter, there is no chemical factory there. How do you get the yogurt in small villages? You know the
You
funny
have to
part?
ferment something to stick it in there. Maybe you spit in it.
No. So what they do is that this is coming from generations. The woman of that village passed that yogurt culture from each other. So my I then they is a by natural selection. What they see, they used to send it to other places. Say my mother used to send me, hey, go and get Mrs. Lakshmi's house. Their yogurt is tastes better, they say, and go there and get a spoon of yogurt from there, and she could put in the culture there. That is what
And
these
they do
hundreds
that
of
with
years.
sourdough bread too. I know that I have friends that have yogurt cultures they share as well as for the sourdough starters.
That's the similar kind of thing. But that is the way yogurt starters, actual yogurt starting that in the villages they do. So people get some idea about that. So this is my mother used to send me to the places. So they did a natural way improve the quality of the yogurt in that villages. But what is if you have people are eating like plastic cups nowadays, yogurt. How do you supply to all these people to make a yogurt? There's a millions of yogurt every day goes and eat. So there is a company called Denisco, multi-billion dollar company. There's a Denisco produces these enzymes and cultures, and they give it to everybody in the world. They give it to they supply these cultures that packages. You saw packets yogurt culture they send supply to everybody. It is a very big company. It's based in Copenhagen, Denmark. It's the capital of Denmark. Copenhagen is where the quantum physics was born, actually. Very interesting. So that is a place there's a Denisco company is located at. So they supply all these around the world. Now DuPont bought that company. DuPont, he recently bought the Denisco for $4 billion or something like that. And now they supply these cultures and enzymes and all those things to the yogurt companies. So then you talk about there's a I'll talk about that a little bit. Then let me this is a okay. Now Danisco sends a lot of that's what I was telling. So what happened? Danisco got into a little bit of funny story. So Danisco, they're putting a culture. They're scientists, right? They're putting culture in and then testing it. Some yogurt, it is turning is good, some yogurt is going bad. The same culture they're using it, and they don't know what is that going on. That's a mystery for them. It is some yogurt, but it's a bad for bad business, right? If the yogurt turned out to be bad, they're losing money. So it's not good. They wanted to increase the efficiency of the they want to know what's science behind it. Why some yogurt is turning good, some yogurt is turning bad. That is the mystery. That so in the continuing the funny stories. Oh, let me yeah, continuing the funny story. This is a same culture, and some good, some turning bad. That is the one that is a problem. That is they wanted to suspense. So there is a chief microbiologist. His name is Philip Horowitz. He is from France. He's familiar with this kind of a thing. He has some idea, and I don't know how he met this lady from. Her name is Melissa. Some different people from Michigan. She works for the wastewater treatment. So the people like that are like 5-10 people. They figured out the bacteria is offending. The bacteria in the good bacteria in the yogurt is killing these viruses. Some of the bacteria knows how to kill these viruses. They come to the conclusion bacteria is offending off this disease. Virus are bad dudes. Virus are bad people. They're coming there, is messing up the yogurt. Good bacteria is making the yogurt. The virus comes down and mess it up. Virus are bad dudes. So some bacteria knows how to fend off and killing these viruses. That surprises them. That surprise they don't know exactly the mechanism. That mechanism was solved by these two wonderful ladies. Emmanuel Charpentier from the they are physicists, actually, biophysicist, and she's a chemist. So the physics came in the picture here. They solved this mystery. What is that mystery? Is Emmanuel Carpentier from in a Max Planck Institute. That's a physics of the center of the physics where the physics was born. And the Jennifer Doudna from University of Berkeley, right here from few miles from here. That's the University of Berkeley. Jennifer Doudna. They figured out exactly what is going on there. Okay. So I'm dancing between these two. So it is called CRISPR. That is where they wanted to find out. It is called clustered, regularly interspaced, short, palindromic repeat. Tongue twisting letters. I don't know who came up with this idea. Tongue twisting letter is a clustered, regularly interspaced, short, palindromic repeat. It revolutionizes the life itself. Why? It can, for example, in the plant in the plant business, in the plants, it can super bananas. Bill Gates and the Melinda Foundation, they're sponsoring. They in the University of Washington, what they're doing is that basically to make it a bananas, super bananas with a vitamin A inside, so they can keep producing. So people in these poorer countries, that is the cheapest food they can get, but they can get the nutrition same time. So that is one of the Bill Gates Foundation. And the second one is the animals, cows. They have Susan can tell now she's growing she has cows. They have a lot of diseases, tuberculosis and other diseases. A particular disease, I forgot about that particular disease the cows get. And you can give them through CRISPR. You can actually don't need to get that. You don't need to give so many antibiotics to them. So that way we can be a natural milk. We can get it. So that is one of the ideas that we have is a CRISPR can do. In the human genome, you can eliminate all the genetic diseases. That is the revolution in the life itself. So CRISPR, what is a CRISPR? I'm going to give you just a idea how it works. This is the toughest one to compare. I did this, and then when I thought about it, what is the best way to explain that? And then I asked ChatGPT and Bard, all the LLMs. They said that one of the creative ideas. They gave me a good endorsement. So thank you for that, ChatGPT being with me. So K9 and Cas9, these are both our surveillance systems. K9 is, as you know, the police is a police dog and a police officer watching people carrying drugs and all in the airport, you see. But it's also in the neighborhoods. They can watch these K9 units can do, all the surveillance in the neighborhoods. In the bacteria, single cell bacteria has the Cas9 system. It's called Cas9, it has a scissors, it is a weapon, it has a GPS system, and it's also sophisticated system within the cell itself that protects the cell genome. So that I will tell you, both of them are surveillance systems. So if you go for the subdivision, if you're living in a subdivision, if the canine unit, you call them and say, hey, the kids are there, somebody coming there selling drugs, or somebody is stealing the Amazon boxes, they can hire a canine unit to do the surveillance, to protect life and the property, right? That's what people do. Just like, follow me. I'm giving us some example. If in the single cell E. coli bacteria, who is protecting the life inside? That is the Cas9 system. The Cas9 protein, Cas9, a complex system, protects the inside is actually floats around like a canine going around, surveillance system driving around. Cas9 dives around inside the cytoplasm of the cell inside, looking for bad people, bad dudes, bad viruses. Surveillance people are looking for bad dudes, stealing Amazon boxes, or stealing some selling drugs for their kids. Same thing, Cas9 is doing the same thing. Canine is doing the same thing. Cas9 is doing the same thing. Okay. So these are viruses or bad dudes, as I said. So that is a. So what is the next step? The now sorry that I'm going back and forth because I can see this is a little bit of a. So if a suspicious guy walking in, what the canine people do? What do the police officers do? Hey, come on, you cannot arrest him because the suspicion is not reasonable suspicion is not. You cannot arrest people like that, just walking around. So he will take information. Hey, come on down here. We have a problem here. So what is your name? Give me a driver's license. He takes all the information, right? And checks on him. Okay, you can go now. I took all the information about you. You can go now. That's suspicion. First time he came in, first time I never seen him before. He takes the information, his driver's license, takes the information, and say, you don't come back here. You don't live here. They ask him, do you live here? You have anybody to come and see here? No. It says, so you don't belong here. Don't come here a second time. Okay, that's what they say to the suspicious guy, the guy in the left side. So what is the but Cas9, this unicell Cas9 system in the cell can't speak English, so it has to speak a genetic language. What it does, it takes the small strip of gene from the RNA from the phage virus. This is called phage virus, bacterial phage virus coming inside the cell. It is inject the RNA, it injects the DNA inside the cell. So, if I go a little bit of biology here and go there, I'm trying to convey the concept. If I do wrong words, excuse me, you can send me a notice. So the phage virus come inside. The phage comes inside. Does the Cas9 does? It strips out small unit, small phage, and then think about it, security system, intelligence of it. It chops into small pieces and embeds into the bacterial DNA. It chops into it's first time it saw. It doesn't know is really bad or good. It can't say bad about it because it doesn't know that phage virus could be good one or bad one. It doesn't know. It can do. So it let it go, like the left side, the officer let it go, the guy, because first time. So the Cas9 system let it go, and only thing is take a small stand out of it and then chops into pieces. Then it stores in the bacterial DNA. So police officer sends it to the main office, all in the databases, and then this bacteria Cas9 system take that phage virus, breaks into small bars. I saw that in the bottom, and put in the DNA of the bacteria inside. The DNA inside the plugin. These are called spacers. It spreads around. They think about cyber security better than a police security. Cyber security. It just chop out this phage virus, into small pieces. Put the DNA inside the bacteria. These are called spacers. That's where the spacers name came in. Palindromic repeats. The name spacers came in. That is the reason that is CRISPR name, part of the space, that spacers they call. Okay, so they are recorded. Police officer putting in the database, they're putting in the DNA base, DNA inside. It's a much more smarter in my view. so so that the DNA comes there, right? So what it does next? Okay, that is just give me 1 minute. Okay, so if the guy comes back second time, somebody gave him a ring camera, caught him ring camera, that gave it to the police officer, say this guy is stealing my Amazon boxes. So you know that immediately he knows this, catch that guy, and he started running, and then he will send a canine to catch him and then get him there. Okay. But Cas9 is much more violent. That it doesn't spare. Next second time it comes, it compares that database, that in the DNA database, DNA inside the bacteria, and compares that to the phage virus. Oh, you came second time. I told you not to come second time. And then Cas9 system slays him down, just cut him into the middle with the scissors, molecular scissor. It uses it, molecular scissor, cuts in half. That is what it does. Cas9 system. He will cage them. The canine will bite him, still alive. This is dead. He's once Cas9 system has no. It doesn't spare. It cuts it. That's why they call Cas9 system phage slayer. It's like a Texas chain massacre. It does that without a mercy. It cuts it out. Okay. So don't mess with the bacteria that second time. Is the intelligence of the cell, you can see. So that Cas9 is protecting yogurt through slaying these viruses. And they came in second time, it remembers that all the past infections. No, if you come second time, I'll catch you and cut your things off. That's what it's doing. Cas9 system in the cell, within the cell. This is a protective surveillance system. So both of them, what they do, both of them protects life. The surveillance of canine protects life. It do surveillance. Actually, Cas9 goes around in the cytoplasm and checks it out. Keep on checking the bad dudes, the bad viruses. So both they do same function. So it's a complex concept. I hope I explained it well, Susan. So this is a very complex concept. So this is the one they figured out. So what the Jennifer Doudna, Emmanuel Charpentier, they combined them together, and then Feng Jiang from the Harvard and MIT, is called Broad Institute. They came up at the same time. You can change. Not only you can use a Cas9 to cut the DNA, bad DNA. Suppose you have a sickle cell disease. That's like a genetic disease. There is a problem there in the parts of the DNA. So you can go there and cut it out, that part, bad part, or repair it. Through the Cas9 as a guide RNA, it has a guide RNA. It can put the plug in the good one up there. So it can the navigation system. It take the guide RNA, where to go and what to do. So they figured out this mechanism. This is Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna, and then they figured out this is that they came out. Not only genetic diseases, you can change the entire genetic disorder. Any genetic diseases you can change. You can play around with the Cas9 system. As a Cas9 is a molecular scissor, and the guide RNA, where to go and what to do. The cutting and pasting is a gene cut and paste. It cuts the bad gene, paste the good gene there. They came up with within the cell. Think about that, guys. Within the cell itself, they cell engineering at the best. They're telling the Cas9 system within the cell to go where to cut and what to paste. So they can solve all the genetic diseases in the world. You not only you can change the world. You can do revolutionize medicine. You can change muscular dystrophy, genetic diseases of liver, lung, all the genetic diseases, AIDS, all of them we can change. So this is you can save the humanity and the pain's cancers. You can do a lot of things. So that is what they found out. So What they found is that, so when they see this, oh my God, all pharmaceutical companies got involved, everybody get involved. It is a money, 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 everywhere, ching, 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 ching. So pharmaceutical companies went there, and then a bunch of lawyers got involved. It is a money game after this. So what happened was, the Berkeley filed a patent in 2012, and they published a paper. Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna, they're both are from University of Berkeley. They published a paper, and then they applied for a patent. They applied the patent, $100, 199 199 fee they paid, and then applied for the patent in the U.S. Patent Office. But Harvard and MIT, the Broad Institute, they came at the same time. Okay, so the Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier, they did in the bacteria. He was doing in the mice cells, much more advanced, a little bit. Feng Zhang, his name is Feng Zhang. He is doing in the more advanced study. So, but he filed a patent in 2014. What he did was, that MIT, Harvard, Broad Institute paid $299, probably $100 extra, so to get the expedite the filing service. Think about that. So he got the patent first because he got the expedited fee. They're not Einsteins are working in the patent office. Somebody just blind, okay, he paid $100 extra and give them stamp it and give it to them. So the Berkeley filed a lawsuit and say, oh, this is wrong. There's an interference of pattern. And there's a lot of cheesy lawyers involved. They say special sauce. They use the word, oh, there is no special sauce required. We did already all those things. There is no special sauce required for this. Our system can apply to the mice or humans. And then Harvard and MIT, they went into the lawsuit, big lawsuits together. And then during this time, Nobel Prize worried about, this is a revolutionary concept, right? Nobel Prize, they wanted to award the Nobel Prize. They got worried whom to give the Nobel Prize. They give it to all of them three, or let us settle this case. They're waiting for it. They're confused. The Nobel Prize committee waited for what? So then during this time, there's a guy in Chinese scientist sit down at home, and then what he did was he produced it with using CRISPR to produce the designer babies. So he not only published a paper, he gave them names also, Lulu and Nana, and then published everywhere. And then whole world got made. He's playing God. With this is really playing the life itself. And then everybody complained around the world, all the scientists. So Chinese government immediately they thought, no, this is really bad for us, and they put him in jail. And then suspended him. They banned him to do research, and they gave him $500,000 fine. So he went to jail. The Chinese scientist went into jail. Same time, what is happening was, so the Broad Institute, Feng Zhang is a good scientist. His boss, Eric Lander, he sit down and he wrote a letter, and op-ed, he took it, and then saying in the Me Too movement, oh, the woman did a okay job, but we did a better job. He's trivializing women's contribution, and the whole world during the pandemic, it's all big during the pandemic. The Wuhan virus came out. I don't know whether it came from a lab or something. They're worried about it. And then this guy, Chinese guy, is producing a designer babies, and the Chinese origin diaspora, producing this. His boss writing about something about a woman trivializing his contributions. So the Nobel Committee said that, oh, they hell with they discriminated him. They hell with all the agents first. So they got rid of all of them. They gave it to the Nobel Prize to Jennifer Doudna, Emmanuel Charpentier. Awarded the Nobel. They got the Nobel Prize. Eric Zhang left. He didn't get any Nobel Prize. Chinese government got mad at him. They gave him a Tang Prize. It's called Tang Prize, really name. They like it or not. That's a Tang Prize is equivalent to the Nobel Prize in China, I think. I'm not making fun of him. He's a good scientist. Then there is actually another guy from Japan. He is supposed to get it too. 20 years ago, he published a paper about the CRISPR. But Instead of, he didn't hire an American lawyer, would have given a big name like a CRISPR, clustered regulatory interspaced palindromic repeats. It would have been a beautiful name. He didn't get a name. He doesn't know how to hire a lawyer. So he said that unknown repeats. So he's avoid. So they got rid of both of them, and they get the Nobel Prize awarded to Jennifer Doudna. Well deserved. They did an excellent job. Well deserved. They won the Nobel Prize. Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier awarded Nobel Prize in 2020 chemistry. So but there is another big loser. This is a comedy. I told you the comedy part of it. There is another big loser. What he did was, he wants this guy is a crazy guy. His name is Mad Dog. So he got the CRISPR by mail order. He ordered a mail order CRISPR, and then I don't know whether he wants to get a Susan's hair or something. He wants to get a blonde hair or whatever it is. So he dropped the pants off in the Facebook Live. He dropped the pants off and gave a shot of CRISPR himself. So the next morning, FBI, CIA, DEA, Federal Trade Commission, because he's an insane, he dropped the pants off. Every agency with the 3 letters are there at his house next day. He's an idiot. So what they found out is he's total idiot. So what they found out is that he didn't get the CRISPR, some Nigerian scam. He got some guy cow dung or something. They gave cow crap. He got it. He shot himself with the cow crap, something. So he didn't get any CRISPR, but he's something strange he got. But he got the patch of blonde hair. So something happened. So this guy is a real loser, and he lost the money of the CRISPR money, mail order money. That's all. He said that next time he came on the TV and he said that I should not have done it. Well, and he let them go. His employer fired him from the job for this idiotic nature. So, but anyway. So then, oh my God, everybody got involved. There's a lot of money involved. So every country is involved. India, China, Japan, Brazil, United States, patient advocacy groups, computer union, the consumer unions, everybody suing each other. We don't know who sue each other. So some countries supporting the lobbyist groups here, they're suing each other. They're suing the government suing the citizens suing the companies. It's just a mess, huge legal mess of billions of dollars. Must be the patent lawyers are all happy there. So that Brazil said that we don't care about yogurt belongs to the government. We don't care all therapeutics. We don't give a patent. They can come to this country and copy it anything you want it. So everybody is upset, so everybody's suing each other. It's like a mess of the world up there in this one. Nobody cares about patient health. This is the legal money is the more important than so Eric Zhang and everybody said, hell with it, we're going to start our own company. This is kind of a mess. We don't want to be in that mess. So everybody went on their own and started their own companies, and one of those things happened is a revolutionary. This one is okay. So CRISPR into computers. If you have a flash drive, you can there's basically a Turing machine. It writes the magnetic strip 1 and zeros. That's all it is, right? It writes and puts in the storage 1 and zeros. You get the 20 gigabyte or 10 20 16 gigabyte or 32 gigabyte, whatever it is maximum, you get the gigabytes. That's a storage, magnetic storage it does. Okay. That's basically basic engineering of the flash drive is. But somebody thought about something else. Why can't I store in the DNA inside? The storage, I use a bacterial DNA to store the information. And they came up with the idea, they did it. They used a Cas9 system. Cas9 system writes and cuts and pastes, right? So they're cutting this one by using the RNA, guided RNA. They use the Cas9 system. They put actually a small movie, the animation of the horse. They put in the inside the DNA, the actual movie. And they also wrote the letters, hello world. It's an amazing. They put in a bacterial DNA. They embedded these letters and this movie, small movie. So they tell you what that does. The storage is unlimited. So if you computer storage, if you have a flash drive, you can put 10 movies on the flash drive. One bacteria, you can put 1 million movies. The storage, think about that. So if you have a flash drive, in decades or maximum 10 years, it's going to be destroyed and then gone. It's not thousands of years in the bacteria stays, because when it splits, it passes the DNA to the babies, right? Mother passes to baby DNA. That is thousands of years you can keep the movies, no problem. It's a revolution in making. So Moore's law is the limitation of the Moore's law on the computer side. There is a law that says that you are going to be saturated with the speed and the storage. Both of them are going to be out. Amazon servers can't save. No limits to the storage in this one. So the storage, 1 gram of DNA, maybe you can get it from 1,000 of liters, a few thousand liters. You can get the 1 gram of DNA from the bacteria. You know how much you can put? What do you put? You can put the entire data of the world, every movie, everything about you, everything, all the information you can store in 1 gram of DNA. Just a mind-boggling revolution in making. Unlimited DNA storage. The storage opens up. We are humans entering into the different field. AI, forget about AI. This is the boggling these things. So what it does, this is I have to really explain to you guys. This is a really mind-boggling thing. Just 1 second. Yeah, 1 gram of DNA. So what it eliminates? All the genetic diseases. CRISPR-21 can do. It can eliminate all the genetic diseases. Cancer, drug resistance. We have big problem with drug resistance. And the malnutrition. You can create a superfoods. In Africa, the kids are not supposed anywhere in the world. There is not so hungry kids not supposed to be there. You can create an entire ecosystem with the life. In the cleanup, you can use the CRISPRs to clean up the water. You can go to the bad waters, you send it there. The bacteria takes all the waters, it cleans it up. It gets the oil spills and protects the endangered species. You can recreate actually Jurassic Park again if you want to. Reconstruct ancient foods. What did Jesus ate? You can get actually the details of their diet, Last Supper of the diet, their Last Supper. And there's a bio-art. Actually, the picture in the middle is a silkworm. But this is a little, you're telling the silkworm to create an art. You're instructing through the Cas9 system, create the bio-art. They create the monkeys, and these are moving silkworms. They create art. They don't go anywhere. They're trained in the genetic through genes to create the art, bio art. It is already there. They put on the research lab in the lobby of the research lab in Washington D.C. This is a Boston. This is a mind-boggling. But it has awesome powers. CRISPR is a 21st century scientific wonder, not the AI, LLM, all this nonsense. They talk just big words. This is the one can change the world, but we have awesome responsibility. You're playing God, you're playing life, you're playing the genes. It stays there forever. So we have to really protect. You have to be very careful how we do it. It has to be understandably. You have to be utmost responsibility. Ethics is at the utmost, the center stage. There's a lot of CRISPR ethics. They're talking about it. Jennifer Doudna spoke about. All the scientists are raising alarms about this CRISPR. We don't want idiots like that guy. So the entire generation of idiots will be born after that with him. So we don't want that kind of people. So we need to be really, and then also designer babies. Some people want blue eyes, and some people want the smart people. This can is a it's a very dangerous game of the life. We're entering into the new world. We have to really embrace the science, but you have to be careful. I would say, my advice is that this is the power medicine has. There is no other medicine can bring back I bring back me and Susan back. um, the medicine has enormous powers, so the doctors complain about physician burnout, but they have one power. You, and not only doctors and nurses and everybody, you have the patients. You can educate them, tell them the greatness of the science. These are things you tell, then they listen. Once they understand, you have the power nobody has. That relationship between you and the provider and the patient is a secret. Nobody can get in. So you need to educate and also tell them the pharmaceutical company sponsor my show. That's another thing. What do you think, Susan?
Well, it's a fascinating topic. I mean, I just recently read her book on CRISPR and its origin, and the collaboration that led up to the 2015, about when it was really discovered and what it could possibly do is mind blowing. And I mean, you mentioned it could work with endangered species, but we can bring back extinct species.
Yes.
And there's many what I think single genetic traits that it's working on right now, single genetic diseases that it can basically cure, and primarily in the somatic cells. So it gets a little scary when we start going to the germ cells, and that's where those babies are coming from. And I mean, they're creating they're a woolly mammoth somewhere in the world right now. They're working on bringing back a woolly mammoth. Now it might just be a hairy elephant, but it's going to be close. There's things like we can eliminate some of these diseases brought on by mosquitoes, mosquito-borne pathogens. We can prevent that from happening. But then let's just say we decide we want to get rid of mosquitoes altogether. So, but what are the implications of that? Getting rid of the viruses and some of the diseases brought by mosquito. You'd think that would be a great idea. But again, now that then the nefarious brain says, well, let's just get rid of mosquitoes. Well, what would the world be like without mosquitoes? Sounds pretty cool now, but we have no idea of the effects of that down the line. And that's just one insect. So
well said.
Yeah. I find it extremely fascinating. I didn't even know, my brain, that viruses attacked bacteria. I just never knew that. I mean, that's a huge thing. There's more viruses on our planet than anything else. So it's fascinating science. We can literally gene edit like with a GPS, and that's what makes this gene editing more scary than any other one. Some of the other there's gene editing's been around, but it wasn't as specific and as precise. I mean, this has GPS to the genes you want to cut, like you were describing. So fascinating.
There is a challenge there, like a canine system. What the challenge is that canine system is what happened in the police. Sometimes the over excessive use and then kill wrong people and then kill, they use the discrimination, all these things. They do in the Cas9 also same thing. It goes to the wrong place and then put the wrong place, then entirely gene lines are changed. So both of them have to be careful, is to be responsible. When you are protecting life, both of them have to behave. They need to have education, they need to behave proper way. These are all the universal, we're all humans. This is when you think about CRISPR, you have to think about the humankind, not human, mankind, man and womankind, humankind we have to think about, and then we have to really be act responsible. This is what we are. Really, we need to think about all these things. I will tell you some funny stories, Susan. While this is happening, what I did was, I will tell you a little bit of a funny story. I wanted to get into this story. I want to get into this game. So I called Jennifer Dodra office and then say, I want to produce some of your swag. I want to put on the coffee cups and everything, so young woman can understand you, this Jennifer. And I told her. So immediately his lawyer or one of the agency called. Oh no, we can't do it. We're all under a lot of stress right now. They are all under the lawsuits. They can't do anything. So I was in the game for a while. Then what they say is actually yogurt. Going back to yogurt, I say that Thank you. Thank you for listening. But vanilla yogurt is actually, they did a research. Vanilla yogurt is good for you because it has that bacterial power to fend off the viruses. So that's the vanilla yogurt compared to other flavors gives you happiness. Dopamine, it releases more dopamine. That's what they release. That's what they said. But anyway, it is a fascinating, as you say. It is a responsibility. Humans are entering into the new science, not technology, new science. That is what we need to be careful. So
Yeah, the ethics behind it are amazing. I mean, do you bring it? Do you send it in to patients who are already sick, and are they too sick to have it cut, to have the disease part removed? Do we start so that they don't ever get sick? I mean, when do you start? There's ethics behind that are mind blowing at using the science, but it will be used, and there will be a lot of lives saved, and there will be some perhaps not so positive, just like everything else, like your
you have to be
best
careful.
friend guy.
You have to be very careful about this. How you do. But as long as that's why somebody said that why you don't see a lot of aliens, because you don't see aliens. A lot of them are because by the time we reach a civilization, everybody is killing each other. By the time we come to a stage that we can go to other planets, by the time we have this so much technology and so much of scientific advances, really we are killing. Probably we are such a stupid people sometimes and kill each other. And there's a bioterrorism. You can create a a group of mosquitoes you can create and leave it there and then spread the disease. Now that's with the CRISPR, right? You can not only you can do good things, you can also do bad things with the CRISPR. That is the scary part. But anyway, this is a we need to save lives, and you save lives. That is one thing. What is the rescue RN? Susan, tell me about rescue RN a little bit. I went. I didn't realize how much I took a long time to go through. Tell me about.
That's okay.
This.
We can wrap it up. Rescue RN. She's just really kind of out to make sure that we all know how to recognize the problem, call for help, and use our electricity and do it courageously, not only for ourselves and our family, but for our kids and at our sporting fields and everywhere. And so Rescue RN, her main deal is making sure people have the courage and the confidence to respond when they need it. I have my signature program, Code Prep. That's very exciting right now. A lot of hospitals. I'm looking at some international hospitals who are wanting me to come in and train their trainers, doing some train the training, which is very exciting. Teaching some coaches how to run the Code Prep program within the hospital. Brief, repetitive, hands-on practice, not rocket science. It doesn't take a physicist to figure out that. Recognize the problem, call for help. Compressions, good compressions, save the brains kind of compressions. So you got to practice if you don't do it often, and be very comfortable with your equipment and use it. So it doesn't matter if it's an AED, again at Disney, or a manual defibrillator in the hospital. Rescue RN's goal is to get people as comfortable as possible with recognizing the problem. That's part of it. You got to recognize the symptoms of a cardiac arrest. Sometimes people think someone's having a seizure, or they're not sure. So you have to recognize the problem, immediately call for help, begin compressions, and use your electricity. Carry your jumper cables with you everywhere you go, so that we can send somebody home. That's what we're after, sending them home.
Good luck in the ball game. That
That's cool.
Yeah, in that, wish you all the best, guys. Good night, all of you. And then let me play this one. Good night.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it